Hello everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast. I am Anaris here, fresh off of my tutor job for the day, and here to cast some Starcraft 2. Man, I am super excited for this because I have the following players. GoSuGatored, spawning as the green or orange Protoss over in the 12 o'clock position against Fruitdealer, the red Zerg, down in the 3 o'clock position. Ew! I don't even want to know what that was about. That was disgusting. So anyways, we do have him opening up today here with what looks like could be a 7 pool, folks. Oh, yes, it is. Very nice indeed. So, very interesting start to this best of 3 series from the Intel Extreme Masters tournament. Currently going on in New York City. Actually, I think it's over now, but we're still going to rip through the games. There are plenty of them around on the internets. And speaking of internets, I think today's theme at work was how does I megahertz? I don't know why, but I felt like that saying was pretty descriptive of what I had to answer a lot of questions about today. Just kind of made me LOL throughout the day. So here we go now. GoSuGatored, actually, nice scouting. Checks him out at the 3 o'clock position first before the Overlord is even remotely close to being able to be spotted. Although I think the probe actually caught it as it was coming over here. So just kind of coming down and confirming the correct spot. But now he's going to know 6 Zerglings on the way, 3 eggs. Very likely that's going to be the case from GoSuGatored's point of view. So looking at what we have over here, he's just continuing on with a Forge, Fast, Expand. This is kind of a strategy that I think will work pretty well on this map. GSL Terminus, despite the fact that they are pretty close by air, I would say, I think that the Protoss player is going to have to anticipate at some point in this game he's going to be facing a mineral line harassment in his main base. Again, just the fact that the natural kind of pushes over towards his opponent, this so even more, you know, just a hop, skip, and jump over away from this portion of the map, leaving him somewhat vulnerable. So let's actually see what happens here. Now that the 7 pool is actually going to start showing us some action, the 4 Zerglings leading the charge, 2 additional ones on the way shortly behind. We do have a cannon coming down here. I really like what he's doing. I love this placement of the cannon, and just the building placement overall is going to work really well in his favor. You see how he's using the probes, pretty much trying to get a good surround on the Zerglings. Not really able to do anything about that, but you see that cannon has now finished, so the mineral line is going to be secure. And Fruitdealer, pretty much, you saw how he just kind of, he didn't really commit too much to this. He just kind of, okay, well, it did work, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep building drones down here, and all the while going to be taking out this pylon, the Forge, going to be delaying that expansion. This actually worked pretty well, I think, for Fruitdealer. I think ultimately he came out ahead just a little bit in terms of economy. He does have his own expansion going down, so he was able to delay the Protoss. I mean, it's a pretty decent walking distance between the main up here and down here at the natural expansion. So overall, I think we're really going to have the Protoss look to try to get rid of these Zerglings as soon as possible, throw up a Zealot or 2, but he doesn't want to commit too much to a ground force unless he decides to go ahead and try to do a counterattack after building up a little bit more. That, of course, would have a few risks in and of itself, but we'll just wait and see what happens. I don't want to play the guessing game here without waiting to see the next structure too. Cybernetics Core, pretty natural path. I mean, again, he's already lost the Forge, the pylon down there. He might as well just play standard at least for a little while. By standard, I mean just kind of one-basing it, because again, you saw how Fruitdealer did commit a few more Zerglings up here. Again, not really hurting drone production too much. We look down here, we can see he's actually supply block, has been for a little while there, as he tries to eke out one extra drone. The Zergling's actually coming over, trying to see if they can maybe bait away one Zealot. Of course, that's not going to happen. There's 2 of them there, so he's got to be very careful. Those Zerglings can go down to the amount of Zealots. So with the Chrono Boosted Stalker out here, I think that GoSuGatored is going to be in a pretty decent position once he gets another unit or 2 to actually put some light pressure. Again, he has to find that right balance. He doesn't want to commit too much unless he pretty much just wants to try to kill him in the next 5 or 6 minutes tops, which I think would be kind of difficult, especially considering the fact this expansion is up. You know, he's already got a whole bunch of drones over here saturating it. Of course, having that second queen up there as well means he is just going to be in a great position for just macroing up right now. And GoSuGatored is doing probably the smartest thing here. His expansion was delayed, And that's fine. At this point in the game, you know, that 7 pull, it did hurt Fruitdealer a tiny, tiny bit. But like I said, he accomplished so much with those first few zerglings that I think are really... he realized a net gain as a result of that. Now, more zerglings are on the way, 12 actually, and that's pretty interesting there. I really wonder if... you know, if he's just going to use those to defend. Watching back here, we don't have any spine crawlers, which... I mean, it's a little bit of a gamble. At the same time, you know, I think he realizes with that expansion going out for the Protoss player, it's not very likely that he's going to have to fight off much more than what Fruitdealer currently sees that GoSuGatored has committed to this. Now, here comes the Zerglings actually again. Now, notice this time that he's running out with a whole bunch of them. As time goes by in the first few minutes of the game, it's okay to, you know, send your early Zerglings out and do some light harass, but you don't want to commit too much to it without actually having that speed. And that's kind of one of the telltale signs for the Protoss player. Nice surround there, by the way. Oh man, he is going to lose so much in this attack, although he could try to run this one back. He definitely could try to run this one back as well, but no, this a poor, unfortunate Stalker is going to get taken out. Anyways, what I was going to say is if you're playing against a Zerg player, you can kind of tell when their speed is going to be done soon if they decide to commit to those unupgraded speedlings to being a little bit more ballsy. If you see them kind of inching closer towards the base, looking to try to, you know, harass your forces a little bit, then you can kind of anticipate, okay, that link speed is going to be done pretty soon. Got to kind of keep that in the back of your head for the next engagement. Unfortunately, GoSuGatored was not able to get in a defensive position as those Zerglings were able to get a complete surround and stop that attack. Now, I like what he's done here. He's basically just falling back onto a very sentry-heavy build. This makes good use of the fact that he's trying to catch up with his economy. Sentries, obviously, very light on the minerals. They're a little bit gas-heavy. That's okay that Protoss, you know, they're just going to have that double gas there. So many reasons for them to get that. And, of course, early stage in the game, definitely a good thing to get against Zerg players. I also like how he's getting Hallucinate. The fact that he's going to have all these sentries around, you know, he doesn't have a Stargate. He doesn't have a lot of gas committed to tech at the moment. So I think this is a quick and easy way for him to actually scout out his opponent. And maybe if these sentries manage to survive into the later stages of the game, provide for some hallucinated Colossi, hallucinated Archons, you know, things that you can use to kind of throw off your opponent, kind of make them maybe question what you're actually going. So our Spire for Fruitdealer is just about complete. This kind of gets back to what I was talking about earlier with the fact that the base is pushing closer and closer to the Protoss main. It's going to lead to that harassment style of play, and Gatored, of course, has this cannon left over from the 7 pool. I think this will work very well in his favor. Fruitdealer obviously will try to work around that if he decides to go for that meter harass, which it looks like he is. He does have 9 Mutalists on the way, but we do have a Twilight Council and 3 additional gateways. This is a great response. I think that Gatored is aware of what he could be facing against. I think Blink Stalkers would be a great thing to have. You know, I think Psystorm as well be a good thing moving into the later stages of the game, but he's really kind of, you don't want to commit too much to those mutas because, again, that's just one step in the greater stage of the game, and so if you kind of get stuck fighting, you know, stuck in that particular tech position, you end up not being so hot in the long run. So now, actually, with this muta harassment starting to take place, Gatored already has lost 1 Stalker. That's a pretty substantial hit to his army so far. As you see, he only has 3 of them in this portion of the map. You see he's keeping a lot of his forces down here at the natural, waiting. He's kind of anticipating the mutas bouncing back and forth, which we see them starting to do that. But look at what Fruitdealer has done. He has actually committed 3 gateways to defending this air pressure. This is actually, it could backfire later on. He is going to have to do a phenomenal job with what will likely be Phoenix play, keeping the Zerg player contained, as already he has essentially let Fruitdealer come down here to the 6 o'clock expansion, take this, you know, entirely unchallenged, and he's just letting himself be contained here. Which, I mean, that's not to say that he really had much choice. At this stage in the game that he's at right now, all he had was just a few gateway forces dealing with this muta harass. It's really the best decision to just try to stay at home, wait it out until these mutas are dealt with, you know, a counter, or if he just managed to get lucky, whittle some of them down, maybe make them not quite as effective. Definitely could use some Guardian Shield here. Oh, almost lost one there. I'm actually a little surprised that he did not split up one sentry into the Stalker force up here. That Guardian Shield reducing the damage by 2, it has such a huge impact, and now we have Fruitdealer coming in, trying to take advantage of the fact that this army is kind of slogging back and forth, up and down the ramp, trying to catch him off guard. Wasn't quite able to do that. Quick warp in. Fortunately for GoSuGatored, had that on cooldown, and of course we are going to see some additional gateways go down. 3 Stargates producing Phoenix back to back. Oh man, he is just super hardcore committing to this anti-Mutalisk style of play. But I mean, really, if you think about it, in the long run, it's also going to work out in that it's going to provide a way to quickly harass his opponent at different areas of the map very quickly. The fact that, of course, the Phoenix threat near so close to the Zerg base, take out those overlords. Those Mutos might actually stay closer to home. We are going to see the Zerg player commit to 6 Spore Crawlers at once and 13 drones as well. That is so many going down. I mean, Fruitdealer is just, he is still in kind of super macro mode at this point. But he has managed to get out several more Mutos, a lot of Zerglings as well, and we see the Protoss trying to take his third, but will he actually be able to? Oh, nice fighting right there, trying to get on the ramp. Good split with the force fields. Those Zerglings not able to do anything whatsoever. We're going to see the Mutos actually do a lot of damage there. 1 Guardian Shield, that's really all that's needed. But the Phoenix cleaning up so very quickly as the Zealots with the +1 attack upgrade doing their thing, 2-shotting those Zerglings and holding their own against the Zerg onslaught. Fruitdealer so far, let's just take a look at the resources lost. 58-31 to 44-25 in favor of the Protoss. But keep in mind right now, Fruitdealer definitely mining on 5 different bases. This could actually suffer some, this could come to a screeching halt though, oh no, he is going to be losing. Nice. I was going to say, he is going to be losing the Phoenix that's actually lifting up that Queen. But if he's going to be committing to this attack, he's got to be careful of the anti-air. Those Spore Crawlers will do a lot of damage, especially if you decide to linger around, starting picking up drones like it looks like he's trying to do. Maybe coming over here with the Warp Prism, trying to, you know, use some DTs, knock out these Spore Crawlers, then come in, make dealing with the Hydras a little bit easier. We of course can see the Hydras. There's 15 of them right now. They're kind of scattered around the map. A few of them committed to the main area right here. I believe there's also a couple somewhere in one of these expansions, kind of I don't know, loafing around. Of course, there's a couple running midfield. But now, finally, GoSuGatored would come down here, and he's going to be doing exactly what he should be doing. Scouting around the map. He knows that his opponent has just been running amok for too long. We're at the 18-minute mark now, and here we're going to see a very aggressive attack from Fruitdealer coming down. Roach Hydra, pretty traditional build. And we see the Zealots actually in the hold command, not committing to an attack, taking a couple free shots there. As the Zealots, actually, the force field's going to be working against them. The Burrow upgrade, great idea by Fruitdealer, as GoSuGatored will suffer the loss of this expansion. All these Phoenix just being so far out of position just worked out miraculously for him. And uh-oh, the Templar Archives just finishing here. Will this get taken out? We are seeing some of the Zerg forces commit to holding off the Stalkers. The rest of them over here just harassing the Photon Cannon, not really picking an individual target. I think we are going to see this cleaned up here by GoSuGatored again. Once those Phoenix manage to come in, able to lift up all those Hydras, take care of the Roaches, and make the Gateway Force's job a lot easier. Nice blink, allowing those Zealots to basically just take most of that damage. But oh no, here we go. Those Hydras doing so much against those Phoenix. Will he come out able to defend, hold his own? He is forced to continue with his blink micro. It's only a matter of time though, folks. I mean, again, if you look at the production tab, we see a whole bunch of Hydras, more Roaches on the way, weapons too, for both air and ground, armor 2 as well. So I think moving forward, GoSuGatored still sitting. He'll be at 002 here in just a second. Now getting an Observer. This is definitely a much needed item that he needs for his arsenal. You know, Zerg for a while was kind of floating on a lot of money, but now that we're seeing him start to just apply wave after wave after wave, you know, sometimes this is not such a good idea. Sometimes you just want to cut your or not cut your losses, but take the advantage that you've gained and continue building on it. This really is one of those times where Fruitdealer has decided, okay, I've denied that third base. I know that I'm at such an advantage with my 5 bases that I can just continue pressuring my opponent. And look at the economy right now too, 68 to 64. So he did actually lose some workers down here, and he has replenished them, but not quite to the extent that he could be. But keep in mind, he's still, again, 5 bases. He could be running, you know, he could be running so much less in about a couple minutes when you're going to see this taken out right here. But all in all, I think that Fruitdealer is just going to be in a commanding lead. We have 97 to 178. Here we go, folks. This could be the final battle as a fresh batch of reinforcements coming in. Again, he's not even really worried about the Phoenix here, as he knows he just sends a few Hydras here and there. See how many roaches are being just constantly built compared to what's being warped in here. We have, okay, a wave of Stalkers. That's 5, or fine. Again, he doesn't have the tech that he needs to be able to deal the damage here. 2-2 roaches against 0-0-2 Stalkers. This is just going to keep going downhill for GoSuGatored, who has done a great job so far, but unfortunately just could not keep up with Fruitdealer and opening up with the 7 pool, transitioning into that that very quick 5 base. I don't know, quick 5 base, but I think that it was just kind of a result of the fact that Fruitdealer knew, again, his opponent was delayed considerably with his expansion and contained for so long that he was pretty much just free to do whatever he wanted here today on GSL Terminus. So let's go into game number 2 and see if it's going to be a 2-0 shutout or if we're going to have a exciting final 3rd round.